Hey guys, hey, welcome back to my channel. As you can see, actually, I was gonna say, as you can see, I'm in a different location. I'm back in my room. For those who are watching my college chronicle days, I would just do them in my bedroom, and I decided to kind of like stay away, not stay away, but like veer off of the living room, just because I feel like with a what I'm going to talk about today, I wanted a more cozy vibe. Since it's Christmas time, it's December, I tried. I didn't say I did a good job, but I tried, doing some green and red lights because I don't have like those lights that you put on the ceiling or whatever. So I tried like putting like lights on a stand and doing a little, you can see a little green and red over there. But yeah, so in the spirit of the new year approaching, I decided that I am gonna just go over like a recap of my year of 2024, what I've taken from it and what I wanna take like moving forward to 2025. And yeah, so let's get started. Yeah. And before I continue, actually, like, I do have videos that I'm currently like I've been making and that I'm editing. It's just that I've been in finals, and I still am in finals actually. But I just expect some videos in January at least. January. But yeah, so where do I even begin? Like, I guess let's start with when I started 2024. When I started 2024, I don't want to get into it too much because like I have a video where I talked about coming back to like Christianity or whatever, where I kind of give a rundown of what I went like what my 2024 was like. But it's really crazy how like the year is over. The year's over, and it used to be pretty terrifying thinking about like the fact that time goes by, you know, which is pretty obvious, but like time goes by whether you want it to or not. Like literally, I remember starting the year, the semester. Now it's the end, and it's kind of crazy. But in 2024, the beginning, I was in a completely different space mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically. Like it's really crazy how much time changes you. Like, but I guess like the things I'll talk about what I learned from 2024. The first thing that I learned was patience. Yeah, and I used to think I was a pretty patient person, but man, like this year was testing me. Like, not that anything crazy happened per se, but it's just like, bro, there are certain things that I wanted to happen in my life at a specific moment, and it didn't. And some of them happened later, which was really great. But it's just like being okay with the fact that, okay, the things that I can't control that I want to happen, they might happen or they might not. And since I'm Christian, I believe, either it's in God's will for my life or it's not, right? And the things that are just like, in the words of Cynthia Erivo and those who watched Wicked or saw her in like the press or whatever, in her words, what's not for you will pass you. And that was like a really hard pill for me to swallow, like throughout this year, just because there are certain things that I really wanted. And well, I'm not even gonna lie, they happened. Like they happened, but they happened later. And but patience is really, this is why they say patience is a virtue, because literally, if you're not okay with where you are right now, at the same time as you're like waiting for something to, like a situation to change or something to get better, like you're gonna be miserable. So like the quicker I accepted that, you know what, yeah, I want a job, I want a different job, and the job that I have is not something that I want for myself, or yeah, I want friends, or yeah, this and that, but I don't have that right now. Just because I don't have it right now doesn't mean like I'll never have it. And if I never have it, well, that type of situation was just not for me, you know? So patience is the first thing that I learned also, because like the beginning of 2024, I decided to stop dating. And it was really hard actually. it was actually really hard because if you've watched my older videos, I think I'm not gonna say all I talk about was dating, but it was something that I was always doing. And once I realized why I was doing that, I was like, you know, maybe I just need to stop. Maybe I just need to stop. I need to stop and I need to be by myself, because since I came to Ottawa, I've not been single. Because I've only been in one relationship, but like, you know, and just the fact that I'm never really alone. That's the second thing I learned. That I wasn't really like alone, because that was my biggest fear coming into 2024, and I can tell you proudly that that is not a fear that I have anymore, of being alone, because you spend as much time as I do being single, you just are like, this is chill. Yeah, there are some days where I'm kind of like, man, it'd be so nice if I had a man. Who wouldn't? Who wouldn't? You know what I mean? But more times than not, I'm like, you know what? Like, it's really chill. I mean, granted, most of the times of 2024, I spent it crying in the beginning. All right, I spent it crying. Okay, sue me. I spent it crying. But after getting past that, and it was a long period of time, like after getting past that, I'm gonna say it came in like different phases and stages. It's like different stages of grief, but I guess it was like grieving. I'm not gonna say that it's not like that. It's like grieving, but it's like the closest thing that I can compare it to, just because like I was grieving a lifestyle that I used to live, that I no longer wanted to live. So I was like, you know what? Yeah, these habits, like I can't. Like I remember whenever I would feel alone, I would just start like dating again. And I'm like, that's not what you do when you feel alone or when you're emotional. You know, how about you sit with that now? Okay. How about when you're feeling some type of way, you just do something that you enjoy. You read the Bible, pray. You know, the Bible says, worry about nothing, pray for everything. Why don't you try doing that for once? You know what I mean? Anything else, really, just anything, literally. So I was like, you know what? Okay, so the times where I was sad, I was emotional, aside from talking to my friends about it or whatever, I'm like, you know what? Just do the things that I just talked about. And I was like, okay, this got a little kick to it, you know what I mean? Like, I see what you mean. So that's what I did. So I realized I'm not really truly alone. One, because I believe that, you know, God is with me. Oh, I hit the mic, sorry. That God is with me in everything that I do. But sometimes during that period of time, I'm just like, or not even during that period of specific time, even now, sometimes I'll be like, yeah, you're with me, but like, I don't see you around me, you know, and that can be really lonely, especially when I feel lonely in those days. I'm like, yeah, where you at? Like, and then, you know, it'll be those times where he sends you friends, where he sends you people. I really truly believe that God sends people because he's a spirit, so he sends his body, which we are, to come and comfort you in times of need. You know, when one part of the body is in pain, the rest of the body cannot be okay, because we are all connected. So, you know what I mean? And those were like, it was perfectly timed, those times that it happened, you know. I actually don't remember what I was talking about, but to get back to it, like, what's the second thing that I learned? That I'm not alone. Thank you. That I'm not truly alone. And if I keep like, you know, flipping my hair, it's just because like it's just bothering me. I could just tie it, but I want it to look good. Anyways, so that's the second thing. I'm never really alone. You know, times where I feel lonely, that's valid, you know. But the third thing, which is connected to this, that I learned, is that what you feel is not always what the truth is. For example, I can feel like I can feel like everyone, when I go out in public, like people are thinking about me. If I do something stupid, they're gonna be like, oh my gosh, like. But in reality, ain't nobody care. You know what I mean? Nobody cares. You know what I mean? So when I was feeling the times where I'm not invalidating how I feel too, like loneliness, it makes sense. Ain't nobody around me most of the time. I live alone basically. So I'm like, hello. But hanging out with friends, going to church, all that. I'm really glad that I integrated that in my life, and those are things that I all prayed for. And like on a side note, I was looking through my journal the other day, and I was looking for what I prayed for like in 2024 the beginning, and I can say that like most of them was ticked off. So thank you, Lord, thank you, God, because I was really shocked. I was like, wow, like God really, he really did his big one, because why is this going on in my life? I prayed for that. So I'm really happy. Like, I actually am really happy with how the 2024 year ended out, even though it was really rough in the first, like, January, March, April, May, June. For the first 5 months, how were really rough. Like, not rougher than what I've experienced in the past, but because it was 5 months of deconstructing from what I used to do and think and live, because I also like became proper Christian in the beginning of this year. So I was just like, yeah, a lot of that old stuff that I used to live has gotta go. That's gotta go. So in letting go of that stuff, I don't know if I've heard about it enough personally, where people talk about that deconstructing phase when you didn't. I grew up Christian, but like when you don't stay Christian and you go out into the world and you get burned by the world, and you come back and you deconstruct to the old habits that you had. This is like, I was literally reading like First Corinthians today, and Paul was like, I'm so sorry if I'm botching it. It's something like every day, like I die. And that's so real, because every day I feel like I'm dying to my old habits that I don't want to do, but because I'm so used to them, and it was like coping skills, and that's all I knew, it's hard. So it does feel like you're shutting off a piece of yourself. I literally feel like an old version of me died, and I'm so glad that a new, healed, a new creature is born. And so I'm actually very happy with that. I never thought I would be in a place where I was this happy, where I was this, because life is still life. Life is always gonna life. Life is always gonna be what it is. It's always gonna be hard. There's always gonna be problems. That's another thing that I learned. Let's get on this one. Another thing that I learned was that life is not perfect. And granted, you would think, yeah, obviously life is not perfect, but no, like, you will always have problems. It doesn't matter your walk of life. It doesn't matter what you believe or what you don't believe. You will always have problems. Like, literally, I would go through things where it's like, okay, this is my main problem, that's resolved, but I have another problem. And I'm the type of person who has a tendency to create, I'm not going to say create problems, but that's what it would give. Like, I create problems. Yeah. Not like with people, but like, it's like, okay, actually, I don't think I create problems. I think they're actual problems, because literally, like, for example, I have a problem at my job, and then that's what's preoccupying my mind for a long time. And once I kind of like get over that, it's something else that I'm feeling emotionally. I'm like, this is really bothering me. I have a problem with this. If it's not this, it's, oh, I'm kind of broke this month. What am I going to do for food? Oh, it's this. Oh, it's that. But like, I'm glad that I haven't let these just topple over me and just crush me and crush my spirit like it would have just last year. I would freak out. Like, I swear, I literally at one point, like, I'm not gonna say people, like a doctor one time thought I had like BPD. Like, I can say that I really don't have BPD. I'm just anxious. Like, I'm just an anxious person. Like, I'm just anxious. So I still am, but like, I feel like now I'm more grounded, and I have my friends and family, thank God, who ground me as well. So it's kind of like, okay, I'm having this problem and I'm freaking out about it, but it's kind of like, yo, they're like, yo, girl, like, look, step outside, take a step back, and look at the situation and see that you can get out of that. It's okay. And I realized that as long as I'm alive, I've realized two things. As long as I'm alive, I'll always have problems, but I will always get out of them. As long as I'm alive, I can do what I can do in my control to get out of a situation. And you know what? I'm starting to find more peace with that. And the last thing that I've learned so much more, but I don't know how long this video is going to be if I keep talking. But the last thing I learned was that, and I'm blanking. Great. The last thing I learned is that I need to get my memory checked, clearly, because this has been going on since high school. I don't remember, but something just came to mind. What I learned this year, not thinking about it, yeah. What I learned this year was I gotta trust God, like, because there's so many times where I'll look around at my life, like when it's rocky, when times are tough, and I'm just like, yo, God, where are you? Like, hello, you know what I mean? But then it's kind of like, literally, I get out of it and it all works out. It's crazy how they just work out. And I'm just like, nah, like, you know what, maybe I was doing too much. And that's okay. I'm still going to go and I'm going to cry to God and I'm still going to do all of that. But, like, I need to understand, it's kind of like, yo, whether you crying, whether life is good and bad, he's there and he's working. So I'm just like, you know what? Okay, you know what? You're right. You're here. I have a verse on my wall. It's Jeremiah 11:11. Of course, I'm pretty sure a lot of people know that one. I'll read it. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope in the future. So I'm like, okay, if God doesn't have plans to harm me, obviously, then whatever I may be going through is not gonna scorn me forever. I'm gonna get out of it, because what would harm me is if I stayed in this situation forever, and it negatively impacts me or whatever. Granted, like, there are stuff, obviously, I believe in the stuff that I go through is for my betterment sometimes. Like, the stuff that I went through, unfortunately, I regret a lot of my actions in the past, but also it made me the person who I am today. So, and I don't regret the person who I am today. But, yeah. So that was all my video. That was all I have for my video today. Thank you so much for listening to me, and stay tuned for another few videos this month. Hopefully, the year's ending soon. If I don't see you before 2025, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Goodbye.